Morning. Had a good night last night. Just a 0.2 mile walk to get back to where the little creek was at. And then we got a 1 mile steep uphill to get up on top of a ridge. And there was snow reports from like a week and a half ago that once you get up there, like the next 10 miles all the way to the road to get into Encampment, it's all like snow fields, and where the snow is melted, it's all kind of slush, just wet bogs and stream crossings. So reports up there aren't pretty good at all. But we'll see how much snow has melted in the last week and a half since then. So we'll start this day off with a big hill climb. We're back at Dale Creek. And it's all uphill for the next mile. Well, I think we're about near the top. That was a good climb this morning. I just love it up here. Totally calm, quiet, peaceful, no wind, no clouds. The sun's coming up. A faint trail to follow. And we'll see if we have snowfields here in a little bit. Well, that's right on cue. Snowfields are still here. Stuff's very slippery to walk on. So far it was just the one snow patch and no wet swampy ground area, but it's supposed to last like 20 miles. 10 miles through today to get us to the road crossing, and then once we're back on trail tomorrow after Encampment, it's supposed to be lots of snowfields again as well. So we'll see what all that looks like. Maybe most of it's melted out. We'll see. Neat rock formations up here. The trail's very hard to navigate at this point. I see some cairns and stuff every once in a while. It's a very faint trail and it zigzags all over the place. It just gets lost in all this mess. Now there's a couple of snow patches to go over. It's just it's very slippery more than anything else. I also think I remember that the area in and around Encampment, which is right where I'm at, got the most snow this year than anywhere else on trail. Well, I'm about halfway done for the day, and haven't seen a snow patch in a couple of miles. I guess this all melted out in the last 10 days or so. It's been not too bad. Just navigation through the area is hard. Still losing the trail every once in a while. It's a beautiful area. Lots of open meadows. I don't see any critters out this morning. It's a little swampy at times, but not too bad. And there's posts to follow, so I can kind of figure out where I'm going. More swampy fields to cross. As we're getting kind of lower and lower out of the hills here, this is where all the snow melt is accumulating, so the trail's getting muddier and muddier, swampier. It's probably the wettest trail I've ever seen on the whole trail so far. So we're just kind of slugging through everything. Nothing's too bad. Everything's, you can hop across it all so far, but it's pretty wet. These little creek crossings are getting wider, but they're all easily rock hoppable so far. I'm gonna go right there, that should be fine. Well, hopefully we're out of the swampy stuff. That was about 3 miles of slogging through mud and just wet and swamp. Not very fun. But I've seen some day hikers up that far already, and I don't think this would be a very fun area to slog through on a day hike. We got 1 mile left till we hit the parking lot at Highway 70 to hitch into Encampment. Something else of note, there's only a few states in the US where hitchhiking is completely illegal, and Wyoming is one of them. Well, here's our trailhead parking lot, coming out to Highway 70. Hitching out from here, hopefully see y'all in Encampment shortly. And just like that, here we are. I'm in Encampment. First stop's gonna be food. I think it's a little after 11. I'm at the 307 Pub and Grub. We'll check this place out. I was waiting up at the pass for about 30 minutes, and one car came by, and that was the one that picked me up. Lovely old lady. So let's go find some food.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I got it.
All done with lunch. That sure hit the spot. And here's about the full extent of the town of Encampment. I'm gonna head down to the Pine Lodge, is where I got reservations. See if they got a room available. I think it's only like noon or something. Well, I'll see if I can drop my bag off at least. I might go do some other running around if a room's not available. This is where I'm staying, at the Pine Lodge. It's supposed to be very nice, newly renovated. Well, I'm all checked in. It took about a half hour to get the room ready just because I was so early, so that was no problem. I was just hanging out in their little main lobby there. So I got in the room, I got showered, all cleaned up. They don't do guest laundry services here normally, but they're pretty cool, and they're hooking up the hikers, so they're running some loads. There's another hiker here right now, they're doing his laundry. And then he said, you know, give him an hour or so, and then they'll stop by, and I'll be able to get some of my stuff in there. So highly recommended for this place, the Pine Lodge. They're hiker friendly, and they're trying to hook us up. So the only other chores I gotta do is a food run at some point. There's like a gas station and like a general store about a mile down the road. So I'll probably go do that after laundry. I got plenty of time. It's like, I don't know, somewhere between near 1 o'clock, I think. But in the meantime, I'm gonna work on videos. The Wi-Fi here is really fast, so videos are going, and I got time to kill. We'll get laundry and we'll do a resupply run later, maybe at like 3 or 4 o'clock, whenever, and then we'll get dinner. So it's good to get into town with lots of time and kind of get the chores knocked out one at a time there. So that's all I'm gonna be up to. I'll keep checking out, or checking in with you guys periodically as I get things accomplished, but that's all that we're gonna be up to here in the next little bit. I got my laundry done, so that's all good to go. Next up, the only task I gotta do is a resupply run. I figure 3.5 days will get me up to Rollins. And there's no real general store or anything here in the middle of town where I'm at, so I gotta walk about a mile. There's like a gas station and a general store down here somewhere. They should have enough of everything I need. Let's stop into this Sinclair gas station first. Well, I got half of what I was looking for. Next stop's gonna be this little general store here. And here's what my stash looks like for the next resupply run. Got the pastries for breakfast, a whole bunch of snacks, meats and chips and other things. I found some freeze-dried meals, and I got some more Ziploc baggies. So there we go. I think this will be enough to get me to the next town. So now I think I've got all my chores done. So literally right next to here is a restaurant. Let's go walk over. It's dinner time. Let's go get some food. This place is just called The Divide. Pizzas and more. Sounds good to me.
What kind of dressing?
Well, back from a great dinner, and I think that's going to do it for here. Just a quick in and out run to Encampment. In the morning, I plan on getting a good breakfast. They open at 7 at the 307 place. And then starting to hitch out of town from there as soon as we're done with breakfast, see how many miles we can get in for the day. Whew, but I think that's about it. So I'll get to video editing for tonight. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you all in the morning. Good morning. I've thoroughly enjoyed my stay here in Encampment. Awesome stay at the Pine Lodge. And now it's time to go get some food. The 307 Pub and Grub opens at 7 in just a little bit here. So we'll go walk down. Plan is to get a quick breakfast, and then we'll try hitching out from there. Hopefully someone will give us a ride back up to Battle Pass is where we're getting dropped off at. So time to check out, and we'll see you at breakfast. Oh, we're all done with breakfast. That was awesome. There's the restaurant down there, sitting on this corner. There's a little bench and a hiker box. So here is the hitchhiking spot. Waiting to see if someone's going that way. Well, here we go. Back up towards the Battle Pass area. Just got dropped off. Only took about 10 minutes. Wasn't bad at all. And I thoroughly enjoyed my stay in Encampment as a neat little cowboy town with a capital C. Kind of reminded me a little bit of Grable, Wyoming. I've got some extended family up there, but I haven't been in that area in like 20 years. Anyway, a little bit of a road walk, and we'll be back in the woods, and then I think we're heading up this little ridge line to get up to the peaks there where the little snow patches are. That'll be the high point for the day. High point for like the next, I don't know how many hundreds of miles actually. I think it's right at 11,000 feet. And then it's dropping down from there into the basin. Here's our turn off from the highway. Getting back up in the woods here. This climb shouldn't be too bad. It's like 4 miles to Bridger Peak, which is the high point. And we're only gaining like 1,000 feet of elevation. So that should be a nice climb, hopefully. Well, the trail's merged with this dirt road here. We might be on this all the way up to the peak. But I'm getting covered in these little silkworm things. I don't know what they are exactly, but they're little worms. They're dangling from the trees on these little silk threads. But they're out here by the thousands, and so every once in a while you pick one up and then you gotta flick them off. And I'm just covered in all this web and silk material. There's just a couple of snow patches up here. Not bad though. And with any luck, this is the last time I have to walk in snow for the rest of the trail, hopefully. And it is mid-July. There's looking back towards Encampment. I can actually see the town down there on the horizon. I think we're near the top. Bridger Peak, right at 11,000 feet. I think that little side trail goes to the actual top of the peak, but we're pretty much there. A little radio tower or something at the top, looks like. Oh, but from here, I think it's all downhill to the basin. We'll see how far we get today. Got on trail at a decent hour. See if we can get all the way down. So far the terrain hasn't been that bad. It's not rocky on this road at least. It's kind of little ups and downs. Going mostly downhill now. I'm trying to push all the way. The first water source out of town is like 11 miles from the pass. So I'm already halfway to that distance. But I'm trying to push there for stopping for a lunch break. Moving pretty good so far. There's been some small side trickles of water from some snow melt, but
I'm good till I get to the first officially listed water source. In that regard, we'll try to stop there for a lunch break. Well, we're off the dirt Jeep trails. About another mile or so to the water source. We'll have our lunch break. I'm definitely due for a sit down at this point. Had a good push this morning. But I've seen maybe a dozen off-road vehicles and mountain bikes going up and down the trails on that dirt road, so a lot of people are out. It is a weekend, I think. Made it to the first water source, a beautiful little flowing creek. Water's going to be few and far between for the next 200 miles down in the basin. Definitely time for a lunch break. Done with our lunch break and back on trail. Next water is in about 7.5 miles, and I think that'll be the next rest stop. Looks like we've come out to the Deep Jack trailhead. Just disappearing back into the woods over this way a little bit. Well, the trees are starting to thin out. You see the trail up ahead going over those hills. Won't be too long before we see our last tree for a while. At least it's not too hot yet. Go back in some forest for a little bit. Lots of blowdowns. A lot of this had to be cleared out. There's a lot of short climbs, bouncing up and down these hilltops. And the light breeze that's blowing is keeping things just a little bit cooler. There's looking back the way we came. Since we started losing some of the tree cover, it's just been up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, miles and miles and miles and miles. It's wearing me down. I thought we were supposed to be dropping down to a flat desert here at some point. Too much uphill. Well, this pine forest has been completely thinned out. I wonder if they're going to do anything with all the felled trees. They're just laying here. But they've really cleared it. Made it to that next water source. Definitely due for another sit-down break. Ooh, and then we'll push on. Done with our sit-down break. Back on trail. Next stop, 5 miles from here, is another good water source. And then 7.8 from here is Savery Creek. And comments are saying that's a good source with campsites. So I'm going to try to make it that far for the day, but we'll stop at the water in 5 miles and see how I'm feeling still by that point. Back into more hill climbing. It's 90 degrees today. Tomorrow's supposed to be 95. That's the high Savery reservoir down there. We're getting some good views of the Great Basin with all this climbing we've been doing. At this point, I'm just bushwhacking through chest-high shrubs. I see a post over there. That's where we're going, I guess. Just came out to a dirt road, and I'm noticing the National Forest sign. Camping limit has been updated to 16 days. It's always been 14, but that's like camping in the same spot for 14 days, which no thru hiker is going to do. But did that change on a national level? Is it 16 days everywhere? Somebody's got to back me up on that one. Here's our next junction. Turning onto Sage Creek Road. Open range. Awesome. Here's the next water source. Looks good and clear. It's flowing underneath the road. So I'm gonna top up here. We're only like 3 miles till the Savery Creek, so I'll go ahead and push for that. Looks like this is our road exit. Through the gate, following the faint tracks through the prairie. What's funny is I've just been daydreaming that I've fallen off the wagon train and all I can do is follow the tracks hundreds of miles to try to catch up with them. And we made it. This is my final destination for the day. North Fork of Savery Creek. Flowing nice and good. I'll scout around and see what the best tenting options look like. Nobody else looks like they're around here, so I'm all by myself. I don't know if I'm gonna be joined up later. Did a really good push coming out of town. Here we go, all set up for the night. I'm up on a little rise, a lot less bugs and stuff up here. There was some biting flies down by the water. But beautiful little creek valley. All alone out here still. There's even some snow patches still across the way. So I think that's it for today. We did an awesome push for coming out of town. A little on the late side, getting breakfast, getting the hitch up to the pass. Didn't even start till after 8 o'clock. And we did more than a marathon, so that's awesome. I'm even looking at the possibility of making this a 3-day stretch to Rollins and just rolling in the night before instead of kind of the morning of. We'll see how tomorrow goes though. Maybe if I can make like a 30-mile day out of it. Definitely doable, I think. So I think that's it. I'll get dinner going, get settled in. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one.